coming up on the Northwestern News Report.
A look at COVID-19 in Evanston and on campus. Is Northwestern's testing policy enough?
Plus, staff shortages affecting schools nationwide. What does that look like in Evanston?
And Aussie takeout containers going missing from the dining halls. We took a look at the new program to prevent the disappearances.
Those stories and more tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
It's your news
right now. Hello and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Kayla Nichols.
And I'm Elizabeth Betts. From campus to city, we have a lot of stories for you tonight.
So let's jump right in. The number of positive COVID-19 cases down this week in both Evanston and Northwestern. The city of Evanston reports a downward trend, 281 new cases of COVID-19 in the past week, and a positivity rate of 2.15% compared to last week's 2.9%, and over 400 cases. Northwestern's COVID-19 dashboard reports campus activity at yellow for another week, with a 2.25% positivity rate and 95 new cases from January 28th to February 3rd. A downward trend from the prior week, where NU saw 181 new positives and a 2.4% positivity rate.
Thanks, Kayla. It's important to note there is no testing requirement for students. Those numbers are only from people who choose to be tested. NNN's Michaela Denault spoke with members of our community about testing on campus.
Northwestern has declared itself in the yellow level, meaning increased testing or reduced activity for targeted populations. But there is no mandatory testing requirement or at-home test pickup. COVID testing expert Dr. Sequin Wang says you only need to get tested if you have symptoms, are exposed, or are meeting someone with higher risk.
If we test every day, that's kind of wasting a lot of resources.
NU says students may complete an antigen test as frequently as they wish.
While students can still get tested here at the Jacobs Center, the inaccessibility of take-home tests causes some concerns for students.
It's just better for everyone if they can take a test in their own dorm room or apartment and make sure they're not spreading it to anyone else.
In a statement from Assistant Vice President of Communications, John Yates, he says, "We have been strategic in determining how and when in-person testing is required for specific populations to help us monitor the spread of the virus and take actions to protect our community." Freshman Liliana Gerardo says she wants Northwestern to take action.
Similar institutions have testing requirements weekly.
The first Illinois case of stealth Omicron was discovered by Northwestern Medicine. NU officials announced on January 31st.
It does not escape the regular PCR test and the rapid home antigen test. It's more transmissible, but as long as we take reasonable, precaution.
Monitoring campus cases and COVID mitigation efforts. Michaela Denault, Northwestern News Network.
Dr. Wang says that if you believe you received a false negative from a rapid test, to get a PCR test at your nearest pharmacy.
Earlier today, Evanston residents were able to pick up 5 free KN95 masks per household at several locations across the city. These included the Evanston Public Library and the Evanston Police Department. CDC guidelines state that N95 and KN95 masks provide the highest level of protection against the Omicron variant. Additional masks will be available as supplies are received.
88% of Illinois school districts reporting staffing shortages during the fall semester, according to a survey by the Illinois Association of Regional Superintendents of Schools. NNN's Gabrielle Khoriaty speaks with representatives from District 65 and District 202 to see how this staffing shortage is impacting Evanston.
Paraprofessionals, substitute teachers, custodians, security guards, and nutritional staff. All positions Evanston Township High School is struggling to fill.
An impact on classroom staff too, just not having the other people in the building to support the school in the ways that it needs to be supported.
Paraprofessionals work alongside teachers with special education students. Without their support,
it has an impact then on the classroom teacher, the regular education teacher, and being able to adequately meet the needs of all the students, or at least meet them as well as they could be met.
Because of the sub shortage, full-time teachers have to cover for their colleagues.
We do get paid for covering extra classes, but it takes away time that we would otherwise use for grading and planning.
District 65 is seeing the same shortages.
We have had to really collaborate, and we really think a lot of teachers' creativity.
But both districts grateful to have enough full-time teachers.
Find ourselves very fortunate. There's a lot of work that goes into doing that. It's not without its challenges, but we've been largely able to staff our buildings.
A challenge now, and with COVID-19, a concern for the future.
I'm also concerned about long-term, what's going to happen in 5 to 10 years. The circumstances that we face now, the challenges of the job, more people are going to be leaving the profession with fewer people coming in.
A test for school districts in Evanston and beyond. Gabrielle, Khoriaty, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Gabrielle.
Following Evanston Township High School's lockdown in December after staff members discovered 2 loaded handguns in students' backpacks, the school hires a consulting firm to address safety and security. After pressure from parents, ETHS hired facility engineering associates to perform a, quote, full security assessment of the building and its facilities in the coming months. According to the school's press release, the project will launch this month and make recommendations about the ways ETHS can deter, detect, delay, and respond to crisis situations. We'll have more for you next week on what this review means to the parents who petitioned for it. Coming up, Northwestern's cheer squad is shaking things up.
Just say I'm a natural ham.
The Northwestern News Report will be back in 2 minutes.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
For students looking to get takeout from the dining halls, things are looking a little different. NNN's Caitlin Bender-Thomas is live in Allison Dining Hall. Caitlin?
Yes. 12,000 Aussies disappeared during fall quarter. Northwestern dining has gone green. I found out it's all about the carbon footprint.
Last week, Northwestern Dining swapping the purple Aussies for green, with stricter return policies to improve campus sustainability.
It's not sustainable if you can't sustain it.
The new rules requiring students to swap out an old Aussie for a new one or face a $7 charge.
Convenient to not have to return them before I got a new one.
In a statement to NNN, Compass Group, who operates Northwestern Dining, said the fall's unreturned containers will, quote, likely end up in landfills and take up to 450 years to decompose. They now hope that students will return them to their proper locations, which in most dining halls is right here.
For each one that's out, you need to have one that's available.
CEO of Ozzy, Tom Wright, says the O2Go containers can last up to 1,000 washes, and when they reach the end of their life,
They're going to be reused either into new containers or into cutlery.
Not only saving the environment,
it's saving the university food service their tuition.
Associate Director of Sustainability, Julie Cahelan, says she hopes the Green Aussies will be one step in encouraging other eco-friendly habits.
Start to remember to bring your reusable bags or your water bottle.
ASG's Sustainability Resource Management Lead, Alexis Schwartz, says NU students don't see Aussies as an environmental tool.
Their purpose is to be sustainable, but their use is just like that of convenience.
Reducing the carbon footprint, one Aussie at a time. Caitlin Bender-Thomas, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Caitlin. Kayla?
Noise Cultural Arts Center opening an exhibit titled Visible Invisible to portray the violence faced by minority groups. NNN's Lily Wolfson spoke with artists and curators about their goals for the show.
Indira Johnson co-curated this show to shine a light on what she calls invisible violence, the instances of oppression often left out of the conversation.
From awareness comes change.
Title cards are placed, paintings rearranged, and the final touches made to get from installation day to the opening of the exhibit.
This is a versatile expression of what visible, invisible means to these artists.
Some artwork showcasing imagery of the death of Rodney King, the Women's March, and the consequences of sexism.
I think that objectification of women can be both visible and invisible, in that it can be physical or verbal.
16-year-old Claudia Martyr is the only student artist featured in the show. She says her piece is an interpretation of the violence faced by women.
The grass represents how if people were more grounded in the idea of equality, the world would be a better place.
Martyr's painting, just one piece sparking dialogue.
I think this exhibit will open up a lot of conversations about what is visibility. There's pieces here that will really challenge you.
Curators have planned for this exhibit to culminate in a community conversation on March 3rd to tackle the tough topics raised by this exhibit. In Evanston, Lily Wolfson, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Lily. If you're looking to visit the exhibit, the Noise Cultural Arts Center is on Noise just west of Coffee Lab.
The Lunar New Year kicked off a week ago, but celebrations are still going strong throughout Chicagoland. NNN's Logan Chizano was at the Argyle Lunar New Year Parade on Saturday and reports on the significance of the festivities for Asian and Asian American communities.
Floats, lions, and 2 human hamster wheels filled Argyle Street on Saturday as the uptown community rang in the Lunar New Year.
This is the year of the Taigo. So Taigo simplifies energy, vigor.
From elected officials to first-timers like Abigail Moy and her family, the parade attracted roughly 3,000 people, according to an organizer.
Our kids are getting older and they finally getting excited about how to celebrate New Year's. We're trying to just expose them to some cultural stuff. They really like the dragon dance, the lion dance. It's something that looks pretty cool. So.
And the parade was more than just fun and festivities. It was about celebrating community and culture here in uptown Chicago.
We have seen people from outside of our neighborhood come here and commit hate crimes against Asian Americans. The only way that we can overcome that is really people coming together in unity against it, and that's what you see here today.
Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot says it falls on everyone to take a stand.
If there's an attack on this community, it's an attack on all of us.
The parade through the North Chicago neighborhood dates back 40 years and was the last public event in the area before COVID-19. After a virtual parade a year ago, Saturday's return to the streets was much needed.
This is a big opportunity for us to be with friends, with family members, and to celebrate together.
Roaring in the new year. Logan Schijano, Northwestern News Network.
The Chinese celebration of Lunar New Year concludes next Tuesday with the Lantern Festival.
This Northwestern senior is going to be featured in Jeopardy's National College Championship at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Who is Yeh Jun Kim? According to Northwestern Now, Kim grew up watching Jeopardy with her family in Naperville and took the qualifying test in November 2020 after watching the show again with her roommate. 2 more rounds of tests followed, and Kim made it. She wanted to tell her friends about being selected to participate, but Jeopardy rules required her to wait to notify non-family members until close to the airing date. Tune in to see if the McCormick School of Engineering senior has what it takes to advance to the semifinals.
We usually watch the Northwestern cheer team on the sidelines at Welsh Ryan Arena, but during last Tuesday's men's basketball game, NNN's Maria Heim explores a different cheer squad that stole the show.
Luba Ames has been a dancer for as long as she can remember.
Let's just say I'm a natural ham.
Every year, Ames and other Marion Senior Living Home residents take their talents to the court.
It's a tradition, I heard.
They're the Northwestern Senior Dance Team. They began practicing for this year's performance late last month, and in the words of the women,
this is a hoot. I can't even describe how much fun it is.
The senior dance team had the support of the Northwestern cheer squad to teach them the moves.
The girls were wonderful.
The gratitude goes both ways.
And shaking the palms, learning new things, and they put all this work into learning this dance, and now they have it down.
After 2 productive rehearsals here at the Marion, the team is ready to hit the court. That performance is why it's so fun to be a part of cheer and so fun to be a part of Northwestern Athletics. It's just bringing everyone together and sharing all of our common Wildcat pride. Post-performance, Ames just had one small request.
We need to do it longer next time.
No matter the length, it's an experience frozen in time.
I'm building memories for my grandchildren because they will never forget this.
Maria Heim, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Maria. We'll see the Northwestern senior dance team on the court again next year.
Coming up, I hope you enjoyed the sunshine and the warm weather today, but the big question, does it stick around? I've got the details coming up in your forecast right after the break.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
As you walk around the snow-blanketed Evanston campus, you may see little chunks on the sidewalks that look like pebbles, but they're actually salt. NNN's Max Rothfeder explains the snow removal process and why salt is a critical component.
Walking to class in an Evanston winter can be a trek, even when crews are hard at work.
It takes us 4 to 10 hours, depending on the volume of snow.
But a plow can only clear so much, potentially leaving a thin layer of snow. When temperatures plunge, that layer becomes a sheet of ice.
After you mechanically remove snow, then you do your salting.
But why use salt?
And because when salt is dissolved in water, it forms cations and anions.
And so those cations and anions will preferentially interact with the water molecules instead of the water molecules interacting with each other. So that's why it takes lower temperatures to freeze the water when you have the salt present.
And different salts can affect the freezing point of the salt and the snow combinations differently.
Each unit, MgCl2 and CaCl2, there's kind of like more ions present compared to just the NaCl. If you're dissolving those two salts, it actually releases some heat.
The facilities team uses this property to find a blend of salt best suited for the conditions.
Depending on the temperatures, well, it'll be a higher concentration of magnesium chloride or calcium chloride mixed with the standard salt.
It's incredible how effective salt is. Look at this sidewalk here, completely covered in snow. If you pour some salt on it just like this, 15 minutes later, it looks like that. Completely melted, completely clear.
Pretty simple technique, and it's been used over and over again.
Using the science of salt to keep the snow off the streets. Max Rothfeder, Northwestern News Network.
Salt is incredibly expensive relative to its value, so that is why you will only see it in situations with significant snowfall or ice formation.
Speaking of snowy roads, is any of that in our forecast? NNN's Andrew Rowan joins us now from the Weather Center.
Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks so much. But before we dive into the forecast, I want to start with some good news. The daylight is getting longer. In Evanston today, sunset was at 5:14 p.m., but by the end of the month, it'll be at 5:39 p.m. That means every day this week, we gain 2.5 minutes of daylight. Right before finals week, we shift the clock 1 hour forward. That means on the first day of finals, sunset will be at 6:56 p.m. And I think I speak for all of us when I say that I am looking forward to that. Switching gears into the weather for the next few days, a bit of a warmer stretch than we've seen recently. You've probably noticed the warmer temperatures this afternoon. Well, tomorrow and Thursday, we'll see a little bit more of that. Also, we'll see some clouds. Thursday's temperatures drop with some light snow overnight into Friday. That's when the temperature warms again, and so that snow looks to be turning into rain for Friday. Looking ahead to the weekend, it's going to be partly sunny, but we're going to have cold for the next couple of days. Now, finally tonight, we're introducing a new character here on NNN Weather, Archie at the Arch. While they're standing and waiting to cross Sheridan Road, what should they wear tomorrow? Well, Archie can grab their winter coat, but they don't need that many other layers. Temperatures the warmest they've been in a while. You probably noticed that today. Archie might even be able to wear non-winter boots for the first time in a few weeks. The ground shouldn't be too wet. And if Archie's like the rest of us, they've got 3 midterms, 2 projects, a discussion board post in the next 3 days, so Archie is also going to need some coffee. That's all from here in the Weather Center. I'll send it back to you, Elizabeth, on the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. I know I'm looking forward to the days getting longer and warmer as we get closer to spring.
But until the weather warms up and the snow piles on the ground, snow days are on students' minds. But with only 7 documented snow cancellations in NU history, the weather won't be stopping us anytime soon. NNN's Ellie Skelly answers the question, what does it take for Northwestern to call a snow day?
Students who are coming from warm weather climates, and this might be their first encounter with serious amounts of cold and snow.
In 172 years of classes, Northwestern has only seen 7 documented class closures for snow days.
It doesn't happen very often, but it has happened on several occasions.
These 7 closings are for weather-related instances. The university has closed other times for non-weather-related circumstances, like an unlikely football win.
1940, for example, Northwestern defeated Notre Dame in football, and it was such a cause for celebration that the president decided to cancel class.
Most recently, classes were canceled for 2.5 days due to the 2019 polar vortex.
Like the day before, there was a little bit of, it's going to be really cold. What is the university going to do kind of thing.
The pandemic, however, may have brought an end to the hope of snow-canceled classes.
Zoom could be the end of snow days.
Students saw the shift last Wednesday when hazardous winter conditions brought many classes online.
Our journalism teacher said that the roads were just too dangerous for her to drive. And then our TA who runs the discussion just didn't want to make us walk outside.
Whether trudging through the elements to the classrooms or looking out the window from Zoom, you can count on Northwestern students being in the classroom more often than not. Ellie Skelly, Northwestern News Network.
You know, I know you said Northwestern's had about 7 snow days in its entire history, but I know I wanted my professors to cancel class.
I know. I had a professor almost say that we may or may not have class the next day, but I truly did not expect him to cancel class. So. there we were. But even during the polar vortex, I mean, and you did not cancel classes until the end of the week, so it's unexpected. So no matter how much snow is on the ground, staying out of the cold is one perk of online classes.
In this week's Rock Talk, Julia Narvaez Munguia sees what Northwestern students miss the most from their time online.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia Narvaez Munguia, and today I'm finding out what Northwestern students miss the most about online classes.
Rock Talk.
What do you miss the most about online classes?
Oh shoot, I guess like not having to move after I wake up, especially in winter.
I miss waking up 3 minutes before my classes.
Being able to wake up 2 minutes before class and then joining online.
Waking up 5 minutes before my class, opening up the computer, having my screen off, and then making breakfast. As my professor was talking, it felt like a little mini podcast.
I love online classes though, like probably more than in person, because I did them with my friends. And like we would just find like a random classroom or like a random building, and I felt like I bonded a lot more with my friends via online classes.
Staying warm, yeah, in my room.
I miss not having to go outside.
Walking from class to class in the snow, it's cold.
Hey, not having to walk in really cold weather. Then being in your pajamas is just like the best.
I think being able to go to class in pajamas is perfect.
I miss that too.
I really do miss it.
I still do that.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Well, you've heard it here first. Northwestern students hate the cold and love their sleep. For Rock Talk, I'm Julia Narvaez Munguia.
Thanks, Julia. If you have any ideas for a future Rock Talk question, message us on social media.
We're at NNN_news, and who knows, you might see your question on a future edition.
Coming up, love at first bite. Find out how to spice up your Valentine's Day with chocolate from all over the world.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
From the time I get to the kitchen till I leave, I'm happy.
53% of U.S. consumers say they plan to celebrate Valentine's Day this year, and chocolate is no doubt part of the celebration plans for many. NNN's Andrew Rowan caught up with a local Evanston business owner that's turning cacao beans into bars.
You have a milk chocolate, vegan, made with oat milk.
When you step inside Noir de Bin in downtown Evanston, you'll be greeted by owner Journey Shannon.
When you grow up, you think about Hershey's and Mars, and you think big companies.
She learned how to make her own chocolate in Hawaii on a trip after culinary school.
And I am getting ready to make some chocolate.
Her beans have come from Peru, Honduras, Cameroon, and more.
But it's been wonderful experimenting with the different beans because they all tell their own story.
She's been honing her craft for over 10 years, but only got the opportunity to open a store amid the pandemic in late 2020.
I don't care what it could happen in the world. This opportunity arrived. I've been waiting for it for 25 years, and I walked in, and every day it's wonderful. It never feels like work.
Shannon says the boutique and the chocolate are designed to be a vehicle for affirmation.
We forget to give each other or give ourselves a gold star. So with joy, pleasure, happiness is just to remind you, you are deserving of such.
The menu varying based off her inspiration. From milk chocolate to dark hazelnut, you never know what you'll discover. Shannon herself says she's always learning.
So it's this blank canvas that just wants you to tell it what direction you want it to go in.
She's confident you'll find something to enjoy.
This is just a place that you can come to and feel love and joy and happiness. And whether you want to give a gift to self or someone else, there's something here for you.
A sweet way to melt someone's heart.
If you like chocolate, I think it's your first love.
Andrew Rowan, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Andrew.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Good night.